Good afternoon, compliment of the season. This is a unique episode of the program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. The Yuletide, of course, we are now looking forward to a new year. So, Happy New Year in advance. On today's show, we'll be taking a review of the political situation in the country, and of course, we'll be taking a retrospect to some major political events that have shaped the political terrain in the country, while we postulate into the new year and, of course, the general election in 2023. It is also believed that the anomalies in the political scene has had a negative effect on the economy of Nigeria. So we're looking at the economic woes of the country. I understand some persons could not even celebrate the Christmas, while some are strategizing how to buy chicken ahead of the New Year, so it doesn't come close to the New Year and probably the price of chicken becomes very expensive. It's so bad. My name is Woes, welcoming you. Let me introduce very eminent personalities with me today, very distinguished personalities as well. I have with me Apostle Elvis Agbonaima. He's a clergyman and a voice for the youths. Apostle Elvis, nice to have you today.
Thanks for having me. Viewers, God bless you.
I also have with us a regular face as well, Apostle Kesi Chuku, very, very vibrant, and is not afraid to say the truth the way it is. And I know our viewers want to hear the truth again today. Apostle Kesi Chuku, a distinguished clergyman, also with us today. Nice to have you with us today.
I greet you, compliment of the season.
Okay. So, that's the show. It promises to be exciting. But before we commence today's program, something happened a few days ago, and it has to do with the man that is in the spotlight. A man that has gotten so many names now. I understand that some persons call him the Iron Man now. Talking about the governor of Edo State, Mr. Godwin Obaseki. He's been visiting PDP leaders, hosting PDP leaders, Christmas party, and he made a very, very fundamental statement. I don't want to say it. It has to do with the political scene in this country. It has to do with what has undermined the development of this country, politically and economic-wise. Let's just hear Mr. Godwin Obaseki, governor of Edo State, again.
Going to a new stage. There is a new paradigm. The politics we started in 1999 has now expired or is expiring. So anybody who is playing politics the way it was played in 1999 cannot succeed. Because as you know, they say those who make peaceful change impossible make violent change inevitable. So what you are seeing in insecurity today, what you are seeing in hunger, what you are seeing in desperation of our people is a sign of the failure of our political system.
Okay, that's Mr. Godwin Obaseki. And I must tell you, that's a fundamental statement. We'll be taking a look at that while we take a review of what has transpired in the country. But we'll just take a brief break now to allow me introduce my third guest, a professor of law. He will be joining us after this break. I'm delighted to know that you're ready to spend 60 minutes of your time with us on the program, a current affairs program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. Once again, my name is Woes Agbonaima. Just joining us is a professor of law, a legal practitioner, Professor Job Odion. Nice to have you with us today.
Nice to meet you again, Woes.
Okay.
Yes. Good afternoon, and listen to our guests and the other side. Okay.
So, like we said, we just listened again to the fundamental statement by Mr. Godwin Obaseki. He actually attributed the failure of the political system, the economic woes in this country, he attributed it to the failure of the political class, the so-called elite political class. He said the way politics used to be played in Nigeria, especially around 1999 down, that things have changed, that change is inevitable in the political system if we must catapult Nigeria to very enviable heights. Okay, I have with me a distinguished man of God and also a social commentator on national issues, Apostle Elvis Agbonaima. Now, looking at what the governor has said, do you agree with him that it is the failure of our politicians that has taken Nigeria to the doldrum, to the economic woes that we're experiencing today?
For me, I really agree with the governor.
Okay.
Because until we change, nothing will change. Our leaders, mostly the political elite,
Yes.
they refuse to change. And imagine what just happened in most states few days back.
Okay.
It was an eyesore. Imagine a spiritual house. If you look at what has transpired, you can see that it was a political arrangement. These are people who, because outside this nation, it can happen anywhere.
What exactly are you talking about? Can you throw more light into it?
The case, what happened, what transpired.
Is it Uwosu? Uche Uwosu?
How it was, how, the security agency were shooting gun.
It was adopted inside the church.
It was adopted inside the church, shooting gun. That is sacrilege. It's still the same thing we are talking about. Because this political elite, they are not willing to change. It can happen in America. In America, in all these developed society, it can happen. And that's why, because they have changed, they are changing. That's why things are changing. Now, like I will say, I love what the governor has said, and it is just the plain truth. If until the politicians understand that the politics of 1999, politics of 20 years ago, 15 years ago, is different from what is happening now, until they realize and change. Imagine going to, and if you watch now, the state governor of that state, it has not been able to come out with an apologetic press statement, because what I read on the paper told me that is it looked childish. Are you getting that? Because whatsoever that have transpired, everything that have transpired, he is the chief security of the state. There is such a thing cannot happen, because even the commissioner of police was not even aware.
Okay, you're talking about Imo State now.
Imo State
yeah,
now.
the footage is on air now. They are showing us what happened.
What has happened?
Yes.
To me, is an insult.
But the governor of Imo State has denied.
Sir, the truth is this: nobody should be fooled. We are getting wiser every day. That is what even the political class, they fail to realize that the people's eyes are open. That's why in 2023 election, they are going to see wonders. The truth is that some of them will not even see that day. We are praying. Because Nigeria if not that Nigeria is a praying nation, sir, it would have been sorry. We are just living by grace. Sir, if you go out with your camera, you see what is happening. We are in serious dilemma. There is problem. And it's unfortunate that this political class, they are still here to realize. And that's why when the governor was talking, I love what he said. It is just the gospel truth. They have to realize that things have to change. Things have to change. The way politics has been played before now. I remember those days, they do selection. But now, they are already fading out of that ring. Because if you look at now, those days, if you just carry money. In the last election that happened in those days, a lot of money was spent. Many of them were disappointed. They were disappointed. That is to tell you that the political class, the political elite, they need to understand. They need to come to the reality that, the politics of many years ago, let's say, some decade ago, and now is changing. Therefore, they have to come to that reality so that everything can go better.
Thank you very much. I can see, don't forget, viewer, Apostle Elvis was able to take us down memory lane, because part of today's discussion, actually, we are reviewing the political situation in the country while we look at some other issues It just took us down to Imo State. What transpired recently, the son-in-law of Senator Rochas Okorocha, the former governor of Imo State, his name is Uche Nwosu, was, well, initially they thought he was kidnapped, but later the police issued a statement that he was actually arrested. That's the footage there. That was actually arrested by the police, and he was flown through with a private jet to Abuja, and it took the intervention of the Inspector General of Police that actually enabled him to put down a statement and was released. Uche Nwosu later addressed the press. But that's the scenario, and Apostle Elvis has taken us down that this is part of the problem of the political actors in this country. Because Imo State government has been accused by Rochas Okorocha of being involved, of being a mastermind. But the state government has also issued a statement that it was strictly issue of the police and not the government. So that's part of the talking point onto this program. A clergyman, a man that is very vibrant, all the way from the eastern part of this country, but is resident here in Edo State, Apostle Kesi Chukwu. Yes, a review of the political situation. Apostle Elvis took us to Imo State. But don't you think Rochas Okorocha, Senator Rochas Okorocha, is just raising dust, allegations against the governor, Hope Uzodimma. Hope Uzodimma says he doesn't know anything about it, that it's strictly police. Don't you think we should allow police do his job?
Well, anything that happened in Imo State, I think Rochas brought it upon Imo people. Okay. Because when you refuse due process to be followed, what do you expect? You know how he brought his son-in-law want to become a governor overnight. This was where all the problems started from. And even the governor now, the city governor, Hope Uzodimma, was even number 4 in the election. They call him the Supreme Governor, Supreme Court Governor. He went to Supreme Court. I won it, only God knows. But it was Rochas that brought it upon himself, because I think they are trying to cover 1 or 2 gaps in what is happening in Imo State. I'm not saying that Uzodimma does not have hand in what happened, because if you listen to also what he said, that 3 of the vehicle that carried him from the church premises, while they were taken to Okigwe, they diverted to the governor's house, to the governor's office, which is governor's house. So in other words, it is not possible that such arrest will be made and the CP and the state governor is not aware. So they can't deny it. But because you see, Nigeria is like when you are in power, it's like you become the god for that 4 years. That is what is happening. Let me leave that and let's talk about the governor, our governor. Governor Baseki's statement. Yes, I want to appreciate that statement from the state governor. I think there's no other better statement he could have issued if not that. It's a better statement. Yes, the position was given to him by God, and his ability to be able to meet with all PDP leaders is a very, very good thing. And the statement he has said to change what we used to know. We all know that it's easier said than done. You see, we get to prove your integrity after you have left power or when you are about to leave power. Because we remember the time of Oshomole, all of us said, wow, what was that slogan he used? 1 man, 1 vote, 1 man, 1 vote. We all campaigned his second term, 1 man, 1 vote. But when it was about leaving, it was not 1 man, 1 vote. Yeah. So the Oshomole we know then, a man that carried integrity, he began to lose it. We begin to see something different from the Oshomole we know. So I believe that what the governor said will be tested when it's about leaving power.
That's Governor Obaseki.
Yeah, Governor Obaseki. It will be tested because we cannot say, oh yes, he has said this, that's how it's going to be. When the ball roll to your court, will you be bold to say such a thing and say, oh, let politics be played, let us love each other, where God kept me, it's not by my power, it's by God that kept me there. When you are about to leave, it's not when you're already there enjoying it. And I want to also beg the governor, why he's busy making peace with all APC people, PDP. Yes, APC has joined because he's carrying both APC along, because he said that yes, anything that played during election was politics. So
are you trying to say because the state governor, Mr. Governor Obaseki, recently gave a cow and some bag of rice to Tony Kabaka, who is an APC chieftain?
Yes,
are you saying he's not carrying APC along?
Yes, he's carrying everybody along, because when he's at peace with Tony Kabaka, that means the whole APC, they follow. That is it, because till now, Tony Kabaka have not decamped. If it was before, you will see decamping, that Tony Kabaka have decamped. But Tony Kabaka still remain in APC, and the governor still carry him along by giving him a gift. And he said that is what politics is all about. That is what good governance is all about. But I want to say this, that our governor should please, just like the way people who supported him during the election, he should also extend cow to those people, so that it will not look as if doing good is bad. Yes, doing good is bad, because the way it sound now.
But governor said he said Tony Kabaka apologized to him. He saw it on social media and went to the church. You, of course, you are in charge of the church.
Yes.
That he went to the church and begged for forgiveness. That this is Yuletide. Christmas time, you must forgive. They asked for forgiving.
Yeah, during the election, we all campaigned in the altar in the church. We came out on social media, we cried and said, yes, Obaseki is our man. So if there's nothing Tony did, or does he want us now to go and apologize to the world that we are sorry, we could have not voted Obaseki, so that he will not call us and say, let me show you love since you are angry. He should do it to everybody, so that everybody will be happy. Because, for example, now you are asking your child to sweep house and he refused. One is very obedient. When it comes to Christmas, you now buy clothes, buy shoe for the one that is not hardworking. How do you expect the one that is hardworking to feel? Jealousy will come, anger will come. Say, we that suffer, they didn't give us cow. Look at now, Tony now. People begin to suspect that there is something that is about to play in Edo State politics. So our governor, I know he's a man of wisdom. I know he listens very well. And I hope that something is not playing that we will now begin to see in future. Because it will be very bad. Because the next thing that we see now is he has been given a government position from APC to PDP. I don't know if you're understanding me. So when something like that happens, that means they are up to something. They are up to something.
So we should wait.
Yes, we should wait and see. We should not just conclude that the governor, yeah, wow, the statement is powerful. This and that. You all know that he's a man of wisdom, and he know how to tackle every situation you find yourself.
Yes.
But I must recommend him for that. He should keep it up, bringing everybody together. He should not leave some behind. He should carry everybody along, so that everybody will be happy.
Okay,
Thank
you. I think the point you are making is noted, that everybody should be carried along. Professor Joe Bodion, the topic is a review of the political situation and the economic woes in Nigeria. But we just decided to take a retrospect to the recent comment by Governor Obaseki, where he said that the political class failed this country, and that could be attributed to the economic woes. So, do you agree with the governor?
Well, to some extent, I agree with him.
Okay.
Relatively, I agree with him. Of course, just the way my colleagues here have echoed the same sentiment.
Yes.
The political class has been very, very instrumental to part of our problems in this country as we speak, especially from what we call the Third or Fourth Republic now, since 1999.
Yes.
I must confess that even considering my own area of specialty, where we uphold the rule of law, where we say so much about democratic governance, the ethos of democracy, and all that, some quiet, sober moments, even some of our younger colleagues, they have this comparison whether we're not doing better or we're not doing better during the military era.
It's as bad as that.
It's as bad as that because when I look at least I have come of age to some extent.
Yes.
When we look in retrospect, see what happened, or we try to recollect what happened in the military era, starting from the Gowon era. With all Gowon's profligacy, economic profligacy, wastefulness during the during the oil boom.
During the oil boom.
The 60s, 70s, and before it was toppled in 75. All they did, just reminding all what we have in the country today. Go to Lagos, the Qatar Bridge and all those things. Developmental strides, and of course that cascaded down to the Midwest region.
Yes.
You recall all that to be that day. It was during the Gowon's regime, and we still have memory of what Gowon did as a military governor of then Midwest state. You see, and then we will move on to so-called infamous Babangida's regime. I keep pointing. I think on this forum I've mentioned structures that are still in place. The offices that were meant for the political parties, the then PDP and NRC, they are still there, functioning now as local government education offices across the nuclear kinds of the countries. The NAFDAC, NDLEA, DFRI, just name them, all these structures were established during his era. The 8 years of Babangida that we so much demonized, a lot was achieved. The Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos was built during that period. You can keep on and on. You see, and then we always prefer democracy because we believe that the most benevolent military regime can never be compared to the most draconian democracy. And so, as scholars in constitutionalism, politics, and the rest, we want democracy, and we are bringing democracy. But unfortunately, what we have is not democracy in the reasons of it. Because what are we having? What we have is just politicking. Let me use that word. It's politicking by some persons who have just used the political platform of politics to, get themselves to power. Just the way the military use their uniform and use the barrel of the gun through the various coups and counter-coups to get into power. Our politicians now have come now, and of course, don't forget, most of the politicians we have to also retired generals too. Of course, the first head of the president was Obasanjo himself, who just moved into the civilian gap, as it were. So what we have now are politicians who, by virtue of politics, if you want to add that to it, have been able to, find a way to work their way to power.
Yes.
For the purpose of governance, for their own the selfish interest. And so what we find is that the political parties, starting from the very political parties, they don't even have ideology. You cannot really talk about their basic, fundamental ideological differences that tells you this is that we know where they lean to. And then because of that, when they politic too, they don't politic based on their manifesto or based on clear-cut, pattern of governance fundamentals. All they come is to throw sound bites. But sound bites, what we want to hear. That is why the government will come and tell you, we want to give you constant electricity, which is taken for granted in other climes.
Yes.
The government will tell you, I'll give you good road, which is taken for granted in other climes. The government will promise constant payment of salary if you do your work, which is supposed to be a contractual thing, really, because you work, you should be paid. So you don't need to promise me you pay me when I've already worked. It's not an achievement. but that becomes an achievement.
So the politicians, they promise Nigerians what is supposed to be their basic duty.
They promise what you already have.
Yeah, what
go for that seat, I'll give you to sit down. More you are seated. And you are seated, I'll give you that to sit down. You're already seated. So that is what they do to us. And then because some of us cannot read between the line, we think that that is politics, that is democracy. And so it is not true. And then when we look at the political class itself, this same set of people who have come since 1999, the way elections have been flawed, because at least by virtue of my position, I've had cause to do election matters, I've written about it in my research work. When did we start having free and fair elections in this country? How many of the elections, the electoral process can we really say is free and fair? There's a few ones,
yes.
In the last election in those states and some few ones. But majorly, especially the dark era, I call it the dark era of the 8 years of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, the man who came with the acronym, election is do or die. Said to the president, 2003 election, this election is do or die. And massive rigging, flooring, and then so many things happened. So they don't even win our votes. And this era of vote buying, which has crept to the vote buying, you see that we don't have democracy. And what does that tell you? It tells you that people in power, people there, do not have any blueprint for economic development. Because first and foremost, the wage bill of our politicians today what they take away from the purse is so monumental in terms of their allowances, their perks of office. Starting from the National Assembly, we heard so much about sitting allowance for those who don't sit regularly, for those who go there to probably read newspapers and snore throughout the session. But they get so much. Look at the workers, look at the other sectors. The health sector, doctors were on strike recently. Look at the other sectors. So they take so much from our pool, that is officially. Then what they do in terms of how they manage our resources, the way they manage our resources is also very, very, abysmal.
Okay.
And so also contributes to the, the downturn in our economy. So relatively, not to the issue now, they've not done very well.
Okay, thank you, Professor Job Odion, for your opening remarks. When we come back after this brief break, we'll be looking at how to improve the political scenario in this country. Back, this 60 Minutes Nigeria, the last edition for the year 2021. And so I have very, very distinguished personalities with me today. Apostle Elvis Agbonaima is with me, Apostle Casey Chuku, and of course, Professor Job Odion. But we'll go back to Apostle Elvis. Now, you talked about the need for politicians to realize that they must change their old ways because a shocker is waiting for them in 2023. Now, it is believed that next year, 2022, there's going to be a lot of political activities. Now, looking at what the Governor Obaseki has said, that the political class has failed and that is responsible for the woes in this country, what should we be looking out for in the political arena next year?
First and foremost, I want to quickly say this.
Yes.
There's a proverb in Benin that says,
what's the meaning of that?
Every one of us, we will never come to a conclusion.
Okay.
For example, there's something you will
never say the same thing.
The same thing.
Together.
For example, you can do something, somebody will say, you have done well. The other person will say, you have not done well because it doesn't please. Sometimes sentiment.
Okay.
Now, I'm saying this because of the case of Tony Kabaka. To me, what the governor did, to fight a minor authority is not easy. What?
Are you saying Tony Kabaka is begging because he has realized that there's nothing he can do?
Even the fight at the beginning doesn't worth it.
Okay.
Now, he said, like what the governor did, to me, I really appreciated it. It shows maturity.
Okay.
Because he's the governor.
Yeah.
He operates in authority.
Yeah.
You get it now? The only thing I'm even just pleading with the governor now, if the governor can just, I'll be happy if the house,
the hotel
is built. You get it now? And I just pray the same God that I've touched the governor's heart. Their case is like more of a family case. More like, are you getting outside politics? If you go into detail, you notice that they are from the same family. You get it now? Even the Tony Kabaka said, I watched the video, he said that what has happened have taught him lessons. I think for the governor to have done what he did, to me, that is maturity.
On the side of the governor?
On the side of the governor.
So you are saying the governor should build this hotel back?
A lot of persons will say whatever they want to say. For me, the governor have done right. You get it now? Will not more talk back. People will say you have done well. Some will say, why did the governor do this? Because of politics. If he didn't also respond, they'll say, look at him now. He had a hardy heart. You get it now. Some people will say it's because of politics. To me, the governor have done well.
Okay.
I think I will be happy if that hotel let him. I don't want the governor to go to appeal the case. I want him, because if you do that, a lot of persons will be happy.
What do you want him to do?
The hotel that was destroyed.
Okay.
That is a livelihood to the man.
Okay.
That is for that.
So you want the governor to build it for him?
Yes, that's what the court said. If he has the right to appeal, but I just pray the governor shouldn't appeal, because for the way he has responded, it shows that he listened to what.
I think the question we should ask inside here is, who gave an order for the hotel to be demolished?
No, that's a different. That's a different ball game. That's a different ball game. That's a different ball game.
No, if we have passed that stage, We are part.
Whatever he's saying now is his own personal analysis.
It's my own personal opinion.
He's saying that the governor
I would be happy if the governor built the hotel. I would be happy that the case.
The governor obeys the court order.
Yes, obey the court order. Not just only the court order, sir. The governor can decide to appeal the case. But I just my own. Issue, he has started well.
Yeah.
Both the speech, both the way he responded to the appeal from to me to his brother. You get it now. Let's leave that.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is that
yes, it's part of the review of the political situation in the country.
The governor to me has ended the year well. To me,
okay,
it will be well perfected. With the speech and so many. He has been going to many places sharing things.
Yes.
As to his party men.
Exactly.
Sir, you can never satisfy everybody. Exactly. Me, I did a lot this period. I went to orphanages. I helped a lot of people with my own little capacity.
Yes.
I share foul, but I know there are some people I couldn't also reach. I did the one I could do. You get it now. You get it. Even you as a spiritual head of a church, you can never satisfy everybody in the church. It's true. You will do the one you can do, provided you do the one you can do. Now, that's why after the first tenure of a governor, either he comes back or he will go, another person will come, or after the second tenure, because no matter how good a governor might be or a president might be, he can never do everything in his tenure.
Okay.
Another governor has to come in.
Okay.
Am I correct?
Yes.
That is the challenge we're having with this led federal government. They are telling us too many things. No, you can just pick one thing if it's power or security, fight it. Deal with it, then you are telling us too many things and you are doing nothing. Let me say this. We are still talking about the review and the way forward.
Exactly.
To start with, sir, I will want this government, this federal government led by our respected president, Buhari, to take us back to where he met us. They should forget about doing this, doing that. Let them just see how they can. So that the tenure will expire. Sir, we have seen that there is nothing that will come out. Let them let them take us back to where they met us. Because where they met us, even though we are complaining, but the situation was not like this. It's true, sir. Now let us start telling us they are going to do. Imagine now we are about to enter the new year and they are already talking about increasing fuel. Are you getting it now? Now, what they should do for us now.
Removal of fuel subsidies.
Yes. Now, what we are expecting them now, we don't want too many stories. Let them forget about new things. Let them just manage and take us back to where they met us. So that, because they were not prepared for this government. You see, they say an empty vessel make the louder noise. Do you know that the PDP that we complain about is even 100% better than what we are seeing now? I'm not speaking for any party, but I'm talking, this is my personal opinion. Yeah. Because when the PDP were in power, rice were not at this price. Are you getting me, sir? Now, and the painful aspect of it is that, we are suffering, we are smiling. They are still telling us that everything is okay. That we are okay, that our life is getting better. So is your life getting better?
Well, that's
now what's
$1 million
question? The system is collapsing every day, sir. Go and check. Even the system they met, that was not a little bit. Let's say we're praying for somebody to come and repair it. They have even collapsed it. It's like the whole system. We need to take it to operation. We need to undergo operation. We are Nigerians. We are suffering and smiling. Everybody is affected. And the painful aspect of it is that even the people that are supposed to lead us, they are confused. Instead of them to tell us that we are confused or we need help, they are still telling us that we are eating well when I know I have not eaten. You get it? Now, all I just want them to do in this new coming here, they shouldn't tell us stories because we're already tired of the stories. They should just begin to want to see action. Because the whole system is in a comatose system, a state, the state of all the ministry, things are not working well. Let them see how they can just work and take us back to where they met us. I have said it countless times. Let them, make sure that the system, they shouldn't build new things. The one that is available, let them take care of it. Okay. That's why I love this governor. When he came, I noticed that
the governor of Edo State,
a lot of infrastructure. I noticed so many ministries. He was working on it. Because sometimes you have to take care of the one on ground first. Not that a new governor will just come, you know, the one that is there that have not been well taken care of, you are thinking of building another new one. Meanwhile, the one that is there is begging for attention. And I noticed that the governor, to a large extent, have tried in that area. Yeah. He have really tried on his best in civil service to do a lot of things. And at least to a large extent, he has brought his sanity. Yeah. You get it now? There was a time that if you are a graduate, you will drop your certificate and go and join the club of tout. But today, you know, there was a time that professor can bear me witness that, you know, it came to a time that technocrat education was like, let's forget about it.
As if it was not important.
It was not important. You know, even those of us that went to school look as if you just went to play. But thank God the governor is coming. Now he discovered that he worked more with technocrat. Yeah. That sense of reason of education. Because if you miss education, you miss everything. Because education is the basis for growth, for progress. You know, even for a man of God, I tell people, listen, no matter how anointed you are, if you lack knowledge, you can't go far. Because there are some platforms you can't speak. Anointing will not always speak there. Your knowledge. Even the Bible says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Education is not something you toy with. You get it? Now, the government should do their best to take your back to where they met us.
Okay. Thank you, Apostle Elvis. Thank you. Apostle Casey, Chukwu, for next year, there will be a lot of political activities. The electorate are even having a part of the blame. They share in the blame because some people believe that why are voters accepting money and not voting according to their conscience, but they are being influenced. But some people say, no, in Anambra State, Solodu won because not that other parties did not share money, but people said they voted for credibility. That in Edo State, Governor Obaseki won, not that people did not share money, but the people said Obaseki must be governor. It was the people that put him there. Now, next year, we'll start politicking ahead of 2023. What should we be looking out for? What should the electorate, what should you tell them?
Are the people who put him there, are they happy?
Who put who now?
Who put the governor in seats?
Okay.
Are they happy? The people who rejected money from other political party, will they beat their chest and say, yes, this is the man I voted for? Let us not deceive ourselves. We all know that when Oshomole was a governor, the revenue he was getting then and the revenue now, they are not mates. Because then the money, most of the money goes to all these agberos. But today, we have, if you go and check how much the government of Edo State is generating.
Internally generated revenue?
Yes.
Okay.
It does not hide it. You will know that it's far, far better than the time of Oshomole.
That means this governor has a good mechanism of generating revenue.
Yes. Now, our question remains, because he said that the governor has ended well this year. Me, I'm saying he failed. He failed.
How do you mean?
When it comes to development.
How do you mean? How do you mean?
Now, have you seen what happened in Ebonyi State, the state where I came from? The state where I came from. That place is more or less like a London. You will see work in every local government. Massive work. Since the governor came in, we are yet to see massive work. We are told they will resume at the second session of December. There's no massive work.
Are you talking in terms of infrastructure, of road?
Yes, development in all areas.
The road construction is going on.
No, it's not. It's not fast. I know what I'm saying. It's not fast. It's not working 3 days, 4 days. How many years will it take them to do a Ekema road? It's almost going to 6 years. Ekema road. It's almost going to 6 years. Something they could have done in 1 year or 2 years. No matter what, if you bring the right equipment in that place.
Maybe it's the terrain of that Ekema road that is affecting.
You bring professors to handle it. There are people who is their duty.
Professor Joe, is that we need to bring professors?
Engineers.
So professors in engineering. Okay.
If they cannot do it, there are people who handle it. You remember the River Niger? How it was built. You remember there was a time they were doing this cheating at Agbowoba at third, between second and third.
Okay.
You know what happened during the construction. But when they brought a capable, I didn't take them anything to fix it. So I will beg the governor to please and please and please. We want to see a massive road work. We want to see a massive development. Like when Oshomole came, we saw it with our very eye. Massive work. You can't compare the time of Oshomole to what we have now.
Okay, Apostle Casey. Now, no, we'll come back to you. Now, when you're talking about you want to see work, are you talking about like flyover? You want Governor Basaki to construct flyover? So I will see some flyover in Benin. Is that what you're saying?
It's part of the development now.
Okay.
It's part of the development. There's no flyover. There's no road. Even if there was some days ago, I just saw some good road close to opposite Adesua at Saple Road. Constructed. If all the road between Upper Sakmoba and Saple Road is being constructed like that, there will be free flow of network. You understand? The governor have this capacity. He have the money. The money is there. This is why it's not as if now we are looking for money or all the money that was taken, we didn't get it. The money is there. Why not go for urgent, massive project? It will even bring money to people. This is why people are crying. There's no money. There's no money. There's no money. When they are constructing road now, someone that is selling corn will be selling his corn faster because there are many workers on the side. Somebody who is selling my will be selling. Somebody will say, it's not that you just carry this contractor, you put them here. After 1 year, you remove them. You take them to the other side. Bring people to work, just like what is happening in Ebonyi State. I think I have to take you to Ebonyi State to see by yourself and see what the state governor did in less than 4 years. Even when he's in power now. When I went there, I was just shouting, is this my village? Is this my village? Or to the extent of my father's farmland. It has been time.
That's serious.
It has been time. If you go there at night, if at midnight, if I tell you I'm in London, I did a video call, you will not dart it with me.
Because street light.
Yes, street light, not just normal street light. All this colorful street light. Even when I went there in July, it was as if I was a Christmas treat with the kind of light I'm seeing there. So the governor should come up and do something. And for me to answer the question, I want to beg the federal government, for the sake of their children and for the sake of their old age, the nonsense they have been trying, they should not just think about.
Okay, don't use that word nonsense.
The what they have been doing in the past election, they should not just think about it in 2023. Because it's going to cause big problem. Me, on my own, I'm not seeing election in 2023 because many people are sleeping now. Many anger. So many people are afraid to talk. If we talk now, we'll be put in prison. If we talk now, we'll be put in cell. Let's wait until they start campaign. You will see massive beating. What are you coming here to do? Who are you? You say, who's president? Who are you presiding over?
Okay, presidential candidates.
Yeah,
that's what you're trying to say.
Both presidential
candidates.
Yes, both presidential, both governor, both senator. They will beat them. Nobody will want to listen to them because nobody is responding to them now. When election will come now, this one will now say, hey, for example, now PDP is warming up to come and use Buhari to do campaign, have Buhari fail. They're already drafting that paper. Yes, he failed here, he failed here, he failed here. That's not what we want to hear. We don't want to hear that this one failed here, that one failed here. We want to see changes. Anybody that did not work, we should go and sit down. If you are APC, your leader has failed. Don't just bother to come out. Just tell your leader, we can't go. You failed us. So the people will not believe us because you cannot deceive a prostitute. Okay.
Okay, I know what you are talking about.
So please, I will beg them in the name of God. Let us come back to our senses to know that, yes, these people we are leading, they are human beings. They are human beings.
And should be treated well.
Yes, if you see the kind of life our politicians are living, you will not blame all these young men who are putting their hand in fraud.
They must stop.
You understand?
Yeah, they
so
must
if
not because
they give us a stable system, all these things will stop.
Okay. Thank you, Apostle. Apostle Elvis, you wanted to just trip in something while Casey was talking. You still want to do that?
Yes.
Okay, a quick one.
Let me quickly say this.
Yes.
To me, I will still stand to defend my opinion about the governor of Edo State.
Okay.
He has done well.
Okay.
I am not saying that we are in Eldorado.
Okay.
But the state, the government, bringing Caterpillar is not just all about infrastructure. There are so many projects that Adam Oshomole started that later we now discover it was a scam. By the grace of God, I read administration university. I understand what it takes. One of the most difficult things to do is to administrate. You can have money and bring up a company. If the administration is faulty, your money will be wasted. By the grace of God, for what we are seeing, I'm not a politician.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we are in El Dorado. With what this present governor has achieved, you can't compare with the past governor. I'm telling you the truth, because the state we are.
I think we should, sorry, please.
Now, what I'm trying to say is, I want to say this. I'm not speaking for the two of them, because I'm not a politician.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to say, when somebody he's doing his best, encourage him. We are complaining that the governor. What about the president? What has the president done for us?
Okay, thank you, Apostle Elvis. Well, like Professor George just tripped in, we are not really comparing the past administration and the present, but the discussion made my guest to mention projects by previous administration, current administration, and we are saying for and against. But Professor Joe, now, a digression.
Yeah.
Next year, I insist, a lot of activities will come up, geared towards the general election.
Yeah.
Looking at what has transpired so far, what should we look out for next year?
Okay, thank you very much. But before I move into that, I just want to emphasize the fact that when we come to discuss national issues, I think we should refrain, should be very skeptical. We should try and restrain ourselves from going to local and personal too, because every politicians on the PDP and APC, they sit here and discuss Oshomo and Obaseki, I will be comfortable. Not
they are not politicians at all.
So I think that was not necessary, because the topic is very clear. We are supposed to look at it from a more global perspective.
Yes.
Politicians are the same, whether PDP, APC, whether you call people or not.
Yeah.
You don't need to call names ordinarily in a forum like this. So politicians are all the same, like I said before. That is why, for me, it is a comparison between politicians and others, not just the individuals involved or the parties involved. They are all the same, looking at it from a global perspective. The same modus operandi they adopt. Now, moving towards your question, because I believe we are running up. We're looking at economic woes, and we're looking at next year. The same next year, it's going to be all about grandstanding next year again. We're going to be all about grandstanding. People are coming up with think tanks of political parties. Some are looking for mega parties. Oh, it's PDP and APC is the problem. The big parties are the problem. Of course, we in our own little way have always canvassed that we should move towards so-called independent candidates. We should have independent candidates. If we have independent candidates, then this monopoly that the political parties will be reduced. You don't need to belong to a big party before you can contest election. But again, even without having independent candidates, our political land space is wide enough to accommodate all manner of parties. There are so many parties, smaller parties, that you can use as a platform to project yourself. So if you feel these parties are failed, try the other ones. Secondly, there's also the generational thing too. People are saying, yes, the youth, if I may use one, not your youth, now the young ones amongst us, but the youth, as been bastardized to some extent. So who is the youth? It's not really defined today. So let's look at the young ones. And the young ones think it's their time to also ascend power. And so they want to look at their own fight next year to see how they can come up with their own party, come up with their own brand, rally around a younger person. The youths are in majority in this country. If you put the age, let's say between 45 downwards, as a benchmark, they are more in number. So what can they cure behind the younger person? If you want a younger person to be president of this country, want a younger person to be the senior president and all that, so that you can have a generational gap. All these ideas that they have, all this passion that we have, that at times we divert to negativity, looking for excuse for fraudulent activities, crime. No, it's not true. Governance itself is not about a mirror for you to use as an excuse to become a criminal. I've always said so in other people are still struggling doing their job legitimately. It's part of all the failures of government. So the youth should also work towards that. Then most importantly, when we politic next year, let's look at political of ideas. Like I said so before, these parties, what are they known for? Are they just known for grabbing power? Because both the two parties that we are seeing, the major parties we see, it's just about power grabbing. You name call, you shame the other party. I'm happy you're talking about the other party going to catalog all the failures of
the current party.
I hear my clergyman saying, take us back to where we were. These are not issues that can help us in any way, because at the end of the day, things were really bad in 2015. That was why people voted for a change. rightly or wrongly.
But did we get the change?
We didn't get the change, but if things were not that bad, after the same Buhari that was against Jonathan was mentioned in 2011, and yet Jonathan won. So people will always complain about bad governance. It is their right to complain, and they have the right to change governance for the better. If the government has failed, your job is to vote him out. You couldn't vote out this man in 2019 because of power incumbency or flawed electoral process. Our campaign now should be, let us have the Electoral Act in its, we discussed this here before, its finesse moving towards electronic voting.
Okay.
And once you can have that, and we are sure of a free, a seamless electoral process, then you can now vote for a candidate of your choice and then pick a credible leader at the center. It will cascade downwards to the states.
Thank you very much, Professor Joe Bodion. A quick one, because time is not our friend. Apostle, just a quick one, your closing remark, quick one.
For me, viewers, God bless you all. For 2022, the difference between 2022 and 2021 is change. Let us change our mentality, our ways of doing things to the better.
Thank you. Apostle Casey, quick one.
Well, in 2022, I want to beg the federal government, Muhammadu Buhari, apologize to Nigeria that we ease our anger.
Okay, my guests have made different positions on today's program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. I hope you've enjoyed every bit of our discussion. Once again, next year will be good. Happy New Year in advance. My name is Ego Sagmalao. Bye-bye.